Hey, what's up, guys? 0 hour back. We are on the road to Aries 13. Tim Lloyd joined by Jeff Hobbs today. We've got Chance Gilbride joining us. Jeff, excited to talk to Chance. Of course, Chance making his long-awaited professional debut next week at the Cotton Eye Joe, Aries 13, November 11th. Excited to talk about this one, man. Chance taking on a tough guy for his first fight in Nick Campbell. And it's been a while since we've seen him, so I'm excited to jump in.
Yeah, the damn enigma here, Chance Gilbride. It was hot and heavy on the scene, and then just vanishes and disappears, and came busting back in our lives a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, and says, "To hell with this amateur stuff. Let's go pro if we're going to do this." So I'm
Well,
excited.
if you remember my last fight, I did say I'm going pro after this because
You
that
did.
guy was supposed to be pretty good. So I figured if I went through him easy, I was going pro.
Well, I appreciate you joining us, my man. I know this is likely the last hard week of training for you before you just turn to cardio and weight management next week. To kind of set the table, I guess, before we get into this one. Of course, Chance undefeated as an amateur. Got your last win now. It's been going on nearly 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. Last time out though, a nice win. Over Jacob Romano, who's he's experienced amateur. Now he's a pro actually. So that was the last time we saw you. Where you been for the last little bit, man? What you been into?
Yeah, I was focusing on work. I've got a big family, a lot of kids, a lot of mouths to feed. So I've been just making sure that my livelihood's secure, and I'm gonna make money now, and I know that, and I'm comfortable, and I've grown up a lot. Like obviously, if I'd been training and competing the last 2 years, I would be better today. But I also feel like I'm better today because I've grown and I've learned a lot more patience and self-confidence. So.
Well, you're known to be, a grappling specialist, if you will. That's well known. You can Google you and find that out pretty quickly. Now that we're in the professional ranks, it opens up some more techniques that you weren't able to use in the amateur ranks with heel hooks and things like that. But at the same time, it also opens up some striking techniques that your opponent can use, like elbows, things like that, knees to the head. Is that something that's in the back of your mind here? You've kind of got to watch out for more things.
That's in the front of my mind. If I could have done pro rule set my first fight, I would have, because like you said, I'm not a striker. But something like knees and elbows come very naturally to me, especially in the clinch and everything. And to me, like a head kick or spinning heel kick to the face is just as devastating as a knee, can be. And my opponents always had that option of head kick, round kick or spinning head kick. And I did not have the option to land a hard knee to the head, which is my best chance at a knockout on the feet. Because I'm not a Muay Thai or kickboxing kind of guy. I can throw head kicks, but it's not my thing. But a knee, I can generate some force on a knee. I'm putting your lights out if I connect with a knee. And I think that's any man, at least under 220.
Let's talk about your opponent, Nick Campbell. Tough guy. He's a guy that, I've watched him up over the years. And even though he hasn't fought for Aries yet, I have seen him fight on other shows. And he's a guy that when he first started, he was, you could see that he was a natural fighter, that there was something there. But he was really rough around the edges. Now he's switched gyms, and he's one of the guys that, in my opinion, has improved a whole lot over the last couple of years. Now he can grapple. He's got some submission wins of his own. What's your thoughts on Nick Campbell? He's an experienced guy, and then also this fight's at 155, which is you fought as low as 135. Is that something that concerns you at all?
Well, I've actually asked you for 55ers in the past, like Carter Beekman, who's my teammate now. So I get to fight Carter all the time now, and I've got other stable mates, like Logan Neal and Trevor Peak. These guys are 155ers, and they're bigger. They're bigger than me, and they hit hard. And I know we're just training in here, but I really don't sweat guys that are bigger than me until it's like a problem, when they're like a lot bigger than me. If it's a 20-pound discrepancy, I still believe that I got what it takes. And I'm not taking Nick lightly. I've watched his fights, the ones I could find, and I saw he has great takedown defense, good timing. His straight punches look like money, good knees, all that. And if he's got submissions, that's cool too. But I think I've been doing jujitsu so long now, and I've known Stacy Meeks for so long. I think my jujitsu is kind of a cheat code at this level, but that's just a theory. So that that's for Nick to prove or disprove. But I think it's going to be more easy work for me, honestly, if I'm being honest. No disrespect to Nick, but I just think when I look at this, I know it's not amateur anymore, but when I look at this, level of MMA, I don't see. It seems like guys are good, even guys with good skills, don't have finishing utensils that are as sharp as mine. Because I have a few ways to finish a fight that if I get that, that's it. That's a wrap, and I know that, and that gives me a lot of confidence. Like if I lock a triangle up, I don't really care who you are, 155 pounds. If I get a triangle, that's my bread and butter. And I got a couple of tools that I'm that confident with. It's not just the triangle, and it's not just grappling either. There's like I said, there's a reason I wanted the pro rule set, and it's a big part of why I'm going pro is for the rule set.
Jeff.
Yeah, Chance is my man. It's always good to see you again, Chance. We have our little special moment sometimes in Lebanon, signing with each other in the cage. Tim talks fights. I like the story, man, and I think your background with sign language and your grandparents, I think it is right.
That's right.
And signing. So even though it's your grandparents, and to me, you're still a coda.
My grandmother raised me mostly. My mom and my mother. So
right. So I would still consider you a coda because your grandmother raised you. Talk to us about sign language and what your grandparents, because I know your grandparents have been a good inspiration for you.
Yeah. It's my first language, sign language. My papa and my mama, they're both deaf, and I grew up that way, playing with deaf kids. And it's sad since I've lost my grandmother and I'm not so close to the deaf community. I'm losing it because I haven't signed as much over the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But it means a lot to me, and it always made me feel different growing up with deaf grandparents. Just for obvious reasons, like no volume restrictions as a kid, which is awesome. Everything's on 100 all the time.
Yes.
And also playing with deaf kids. Not to sound prejudiced or anything, because I mean it as a compliment, but there was a different intensity level playing with deaf kids and playing with hearing kids. Just like I remember roughhousing with my friend Cochise and him getting me in like a guillotine at the lake underwater, and I'm like 7 and he's like 9, and I remember feeling all the panic of just death, like, oh, I'm gonna drown here, and nobody's helping me. And I just kind of like accepted that, and then he let me go. And I remember coming up and being so mad, like, you almost killed me. And he's just laughing, smiling, having a great time. It's just another day at the lake for Cochise,
Yeah. He can't hear you saying stop. He can't hear you saying stop.
Yeah. It's just, everything's a little more intense. I mean, think about language. They say if you learn a new language, you think in a new way. And sign language is very primal. Like, if you say dumb, you're literally hammering your head. And imagine you're mad in an argument. You're calling someone dumb. You're like, you are dumb. And you're literally hitting yourself in the head. I mean, I can remember being 5, 6 years old in the back of my grandma's van, frantically begging her and my papaw to just stop fighting and look at the road because they're arguing with each other and no one's watching the road. Yeah. And it's terrifying, but it made me who I am. I love my grandma so much. She never wanted me to fight. She said I was too pretty, didn't need the scars. But now that her and my mom have passed on, it's made me stronger. And it's there's no one here to be sad for me getting hit in the face, and I got it coming. Let's be honest, So,
for me, I just think it's you're Chance Gilbride. You're the wild man. You rough around the edges, maybe to some people, but to me, it's a beautiful thing though, because people don't understand, like, learning sign language. A lot of people don't learn sign language because they just want to learn sign language. To me, it's a softer side of somebody because you learn sign language because there was someone close to you that it meant something to you, that you learned it to be able to communicate with someone else. And to me, it is a softness about somebody that I always find unique. Someone who, oh, absolutely. And I'm the same. I'm the same as you. My daughter's a grown adult now. She was born profoundly deaf, and lived in dorms her whole life. Went to Gallaudet in Washington D.C. for college, and I don't see her anymore. I used to be a sign language interpreter, but after she moved out and went to college, I don't see her anymore, so I don't
It's
use
hard.
it. So when I see you, that's the only time I get to sign. So
I'm actually considering getting in deaf ministry just to practice spirituality, but also be around deaf people because I love that part of my upbringing, and I want that to be part of my life, part of my kids' life. It's the first thing my children used to communicate, because it's so much easier than articulating words to just say you want milk. Like saying I want something is this naturally. Milk is this right here. So it's all pretty self-explanatory, and it's like you said, the softness, the connection. That's beautiful, and it's beautiful you have that with your daughter because, like my grandmother, she didn't have that. Her mom just sent her to an institution, and that hardened her, and that's part of what hardened me was the people that brought me up. They also came up rough, so rough around the edges. That's one way of putting it, But I'm perfect for what I found to do, and I owe that all of that honestly to Stacy Meeks, because he saw a troubled teen, and instead of everyone else saying this kid's bad, he's going straight to jail, and that's his path. Stacy said this kid is prone to violence. He's good at it, but does it in the wrong setting. We can turn that into a positive. And no matter how many times I got in trouble, Stacy was always there with his hand out at the end of it to say, hey, come to my gym, train, do something with that. You've got all this energy, do something with it. And now I do, and it's changed my life.
Well, I look forward to next week, man, and getting to chop it up and knocking the rust off a little bit.
I've been in here knocking it off. When I came back to train, I'd been out so long. All these guys that were my friends that I trained with had talked me up so much that all these young, hungry guys just wanted a feather in their cap. And it was really coming back, dude, like just getting beat up by all these guys. But I'm back. Like, it's official. I'm back.
Well, I'm going to let Tim go back to the fight stuff, man. But I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you next week.
I can't wait to see you too, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. So, before the last thing here, like you said, you're back. Does that mean you're looking to stay busy? Obviously, you're going, getting into the professional ranks now. You're still young buck, so there's time. But back a year and a half, 2 years ago when you were competing, you were knocking them off, pretty quick. You're doing fight every 2 or 3 months. Is that kind of the pace you're looking to keep here?
Yeah. As many as possible. If I come out unscathed, I want on the next card. To me, the way I've always done jiu-jitsu is I supplement competition as training. So I stay active and I stay competing and I stay training, and it all just works for me that way. As long as I stay healthy, and I can, if I have a hard fight, obviously I'll take time, let everything heal up. The consequences are different in MMA than jiu-jitsu. But, if I come out unscathed like I have all my other fights, I'm looking to get right back in. I hope that I do get pushed because there's still a part of me that's fearful. That's like, what after the first round? What am I going to feel like in the second round? What am I going to feel like in the third round? What am I going to feel like after a good exchange and I'm tagged and I'm hurt and rocked? Because no one's answered those questions for me yet, which is a good thing, but I'm still excited to find out. So I'm hoping Nick's as game as he appears and he brings it, because I'm going to.
Let our viewers know why they need to be at the Cotton Eye Joe next Friday night to see the professional debut of Chance Gilbride.
You want to see finishes, you want to see somebody get, hurt, you like violence, come out, because that's what we're here to do, man.
Get some shout-outs for the do, my man. Sponsors, training partners, all that good stuff. We'll let you go.
Just Sterling, Peace, my coach, Elijah Carlton, one of my stablemates and, fellow jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's so talented, it's crazy if you follow his career at all. And just all my teammates that push me,
This has been Chance Gilbride. Catch his professional debut at Aries 13, Cotton Eye Joe, Knoxville, Tennessee, next Friday, November 11th. To get your tickets at fightertix.com. Make sure you select Chance from the menu so he gets some extra scratch there. And then, of course, you can watch the pay-per-view, Spectation Sports. Chance, looking forward to it. Next week, we'll see you in Knoxville, my man.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
See you, man.